So in 1931, the Belgian physicist, who was also a friend of Albert Einstein and worked with Albert Einstein from time to time. I mean, this is a very intelligent man, PhD in physics, an engineer. This man created, he built this craft, he put it in, he went up, he was the first man, so he's world record setter. Dr. Auguste Picard, Star Trek, Jean-Luc Picard, named after him. Okay? First man to reach the stratosphere, the first man who went that high. Now notice in the commercial, the first couple of horizons they show you completely flat. Alright? He did this on May 27th, 1931. He set a world record at 51,775 feet. Here's a picture. I took some stills of this. They showed us. What are they showing us here? They're showing us the basically flat horizon. Now I love how they change it, but it shows him going up, and it shows him breaking through the firmament into what? Water. They're mocking us. They know the truth, and they're mocking us. Now here's some pictures. Auguste Picard, PhD in physics. This is a well-known historic figure. I mean, stamps of him. I mean, he's. This is not some guy. I can't believe how I never heard of him. Here's him in the Encyclopedia Britannica. Says he was. He died he was born in 1884, died in 1962. Swiss-born Belgian physicist, notable for his exploration of both the upper stratosphere and the depths of the sea in ships of his own design. In 1930, he built a balloon to study cosmic rays. In 1932, he developed a new cabin designed for balloon flights. In the same year, he ascended to 17,008 meters, 55,800 feet completed. Another one, he did it later on. He was born into a family of Swiss scholars. He worked with, like I said, he worked with Albert Einstein. Here's a picture of him with his assistant in the capsule that they went up in, and it had portholes, and this is a porthole. And then I found this. This is a popular science magazine from August 1931. He did this in May. So just a few months after his ascent to a world record height, there was an article in there, 10 miles high in an airtight balloon. Now, just so people could say that I didn't get this off the internet, I did a little research. So I went on eBay and searched for Popular Science Magazine, 1931, August edition. I found one. I paid $15 for this. It was 25 cents in 1931. Just to verify this fact, and I'm going to read this article to you. This is the testimony of a physicist, scientist, engineer, the first man to reach the stratosphere, that height. His testimony of the shape of the earth. Can I read this to you? It's on page 23. This blew my mind, getting this. Just to verify. Is that the same article? If I was in court, this would be Exhibit 1. Right? It says a huge yellow balloon soared skyward a few weeks ago from Augsburg, Germany. Instead of a basket, it trailed an airtight black and silver aluminum ball. Within, Professor Auguste Picard, physicist, and Charles Kepler aimed to explore the air 50,000 feet up. 17 hours later, after being given up for dead, they returned safely from an estimated height of more than 52,000 feet, almost 10 miles, shattering every aircraft altitude record. Oxygen tanks kept them alive while they made observations. Records of their instruments are now being checked and interpreted. First to rise safely into the upper layer of the Earth's stratosphere, they found the air pressure at 10 miles altitude so low, 1/10 of that at sea level, that a man exposed to it would perish, much as a deep sea fish burst of its own internal pressure when it's brought to the Earth's surface. Picard and his aide found cosmic rays, mysterious radiations from outer space. they thought, of course, far more powerful than the Earth's surface, and engaged their intensity. The explorers trapped samples of upper air, blue air, as Picard reported it to appear in cylinders. Analysis may prove it exceptionally rich in ozone, the intense blue gas supposedly responsible for the heavy side layer or radio roof. Now listen to this. The story of their adventure surpasses fiction. During the ascent, the aluminum ball began to leak. They plugged it desperately with Vaseline and cotton waste, stopping the leak. In the first half hour, the balloon shot up 9 miles through portholes. The observers saw the Earth through copper-colored, then bluish haze. Here's what he said. It seemed a flat disc with upturned edge. Now this is 1931, before NASA. Before they decided they were going to lie to us, before they conspired worldwide to lie. Some people say that there are no scientists that are flat earthers. Well, guess what? He told you what he saw. What is this magazine? Why did we never hear that in our schools? I never heard of this man. Took an Illuminati commercial to make me look, who is this man? Just another picture of him. And just so you know, this is what I just read right here, where it says, it seemed a flat disc with upturned edge. The edge is the ice wall barrier all the way around. Now let's ask the question. You say flat. I would just say I agree with physicist Picard here. But this is the argument you always hear. Ships, oh, we know it's a ball, right? Because when we're on the beach and we see a boat, it seems to disappear over the curve, right? So does it happen? Does it disappear over the curvature of the Earth? I love this little thing right here. Oh, we have new instruments now. Telescopes, Nikon 900 zoom, 83 times zoom cameras that us normal people can have and not just NASA. And I love it. So you're telling me you can drag that ship back over the curvature of the Earth with nothing but that magic telescope? If you want to know the math, here's the equation for figuring curvature versus distance and what you can see. A lot of fun. We'll simplify that for us simple folk. All right? This is basically how it breaks down. I'm not going to get too heavy into this, just let you see it. The math is there. People like Paul, our engineer here from LSU, has done the math as well. He knows this is legit. Here's how it breaks down pretty much. 8 inches of drop. If the Earth is a ball at 25,000 miles in circumference, then there is math to say how much it curves over length, over time. So you would know how much things are supposed to, how many feet should not be able to see of things, right? And so it's 8 inches times miles squared equals the curvature drop. Okay? This is a fact. And this gives you a little bit of a breakdown. At 1 mile times 1 squared would be 8 inches. 2 miles is 32 inches. 3 miles at 6 feet you should be able to see. And it goes on down. 10 miles, 66 feet. And it keeps going. Now, I covered this a little bit. Here's another illustration of what we're talking about. If you're here, and this is so many miles away, then there's so much that the Earth is supposed to curve if it's a ball that you're not supposed to see. Right? Everybody understand that? Basic truth. All right, and here it is again. If you want the equation, real simple. 8 inches times miles squared. That's how much feet of curvature should be disappear. So, we've watched many of these. I shared one last time I did this of a man taking pictures and video 56 miles in Michigan across the lake to see the Chicago skyline. So we decided to do our own. So me and Kevin and our wives and kids and Paul, Kelly was with us. And we went down to Mobile, and then we drove across the bay, went down to Fairhope, and we were approximately 13 to 12 and a half miles. Here we are out on what's called North Beach Park in Fairhope, Alabama, which would be on the east side of Mobile Bay. And we were down about 13 miles. Here's the kind of the breakdown. This is where we were. This is Fairhope. And we are here on this beach looking back across 12 and a half, 13 miles to downtown Mobile, the port of Mobile. Now these are going to be actual photographs that we took on that beach at 5 feet, we'd say above sea level with the camera, 5 to 6 feet, and then I had a telescope sitting at about 4 feet. So we took pictures. Here's another showing you where we were, a little bit up close. Everybody see that? That's where we were. Here's the way that breaks down. This is a good thing. The earth curve we put in, the height, 6 feet above sea level on the beach. 12.5 miles. Calculate the horizon should be at 3 miles, meaning where the curve starts should be at 3 mile point. And then after that it should begin to drop. And by the time you reach Mobile, 12.5 miles away, 60 feet should be, you shouldn't be able to see. 60 feet is 6 stories. So depending on the telescope and the camera, really it was between 6 and 8 stories that should be, you should not be able to see. Now a 6 to 8 story building is pretty tall, don't you think? Right? All right, here's our first picture of Mobile from Fairhope, Alabama at 12 to 13 miles away. The first picture. Now let me ask you something. What do you see here? Mobile port's very active. Shipping. I want to show you something. This right here, you're going to see in a second, but this is a boat sitting in the water. Did you see its hull sitting in the water? 60 feet should be hidden. We should not be able to see, probably about here. But we can see this boat sitting in the water at about 13 miles. What does that tell you? It is undeniable proof that you can go and recreate the experiment yourself. It's undeniable proof that the earth is not a ball at 25,000 miles in circumference. It cannot be. And the people are going to try to tell me that this is light refraction or a superior mirage. No. That's called 83 times zoom. You see what you see. Here's another one. They have many shipping cranes here. Now I know it's kind of fuzzy. At times the visibility would get tough. But I want you to notice, you see this large shipping crane? You're seeing where it's sitting on the ground here. Okay? And you can't see this very well, but I'm going to show you a picture in a second. But this is actually a ship, like a barge, sitting in the water, and that's its, its identification numbers on it. Here's a picture of this same up close. This is the same crane, a little closer, a little different angle, but it's the same exact crane in Mobile Bay. Notice the large ship. Let me ask you something. Are you seeing that entire crane? Exhibit 2. 13 miles away. We saw this. We did this ourselves, our test. Paul?
I was there.
Paul was there. Paul Kelly, graduated from LSU, engineer. He witnessed it. No monkey business, right? Here's another one. 2 smaller cranes. Kevin took some good pictures. These are 2 smaller cranes. Look where you're seeing here. See that? I'm going to show you these cranes. Here they are. We were looking at them from an angle. You see what you're seeing? All the way down here where they're sitting on the ground. 60 feet should be gone, folks. If the earth is a ball, it should be gone. Fire and Grace Church, we did this test ourselves. Right? Here's another one. Everybody knows that the old USS Alabama sits in Mobile Bay, right? It's a museum, it's a touring place now. It's constantly anchored, it stays there. right? Here's a picture of it. 13 miles. What do you see? It got a little fuzzy on that one, but you still see the hole in the water, right? And look, whatever little part of the hole you can't see right here, you've got to remember, an ocean moves up and down at least 2 to 3 feet on a mile depth. Okay? But you shouldn't be seeing it 60 feet. You should only be seeing about that much. Here's another one. Here's a boat that was all the way on the other side of the bay, at least 12 miles away. Do you see that whole boat in the water? Come on, everybody, say something out there. Let the people know.
Yeah.
You see that? I hope it's coming up good on the. I got a little zoomed in a little closer. Can you see it? The hull all the way sitting in the water.
Yes.
60 feet should be hidden. Really, pretty much this entire boat should be gone. This boat, you could not see with your eye past the horizon. Could we, Paul? Could we, Kevin? You see, this crap of saying that it's behind the curvature of the earth. No, our little magic telescope and our little magic camera pulled it right back over the curvature. We can see it sitting in the water. The earth does not curve. It is not a ball. It is flat. Just like the Bible said. Just like physicist Dr. Picard said. Just like all the prophets said. Just like everyone believed for thousands of years until the occultist Copernicus came along with a theory that it was a ball.